Hi folks, this is Meredith from the Papery Craftery, and today I'm just sharing a quick follow-up to the Quilling Azaleas video I made a couple weeks ago, and that is to talk about the leaves that I made. We're going to make those in this video today. I like these kind of sage type greens for this project. Those are from Craft Harbor. We're going to be using a needle tool. We're going to be using just a white glue in a needle nose bottle. And then these leaves are going to be made on the quilling comb. I have my onion holder type comb here, but any quilling comb you have will do. So to start off, I'm taking one of these strips. This is the sage green from Craft Harbor. It's about 22 to 24 inches long. And I'm doing a little anchor on my needle tool. I do this a lot for my quilling comb. It gives it a nice place to start off with, without having to hold it too firmly while you're trying to weave on your comb at the same time. So as you can see there, I put it on the bottom rung of my tool, and then I'm just going around and back down to the bottom. And I'm going to be doing this for 8 of the teeth on my quilling comb. And depending on the comb you use, the size may vary for 8 teeth. So just bear in mind, this is about, it's going to be a little bit more longer than an inch doing these 8 teeth. Your leaves can be whatever size they are, but you're going to want to make sure that as you go further in this project, however many teeth you decide to use, that's the number you stick with for the rest of the project. And we'll talk about why that matters in a moment. So now I'm just double checking that I did 8 teeth and I have everything nice and straight, tearing off the excess, and then applying a little bit of glue right to the bottom. Notice I didn't glue any of my other steps. You're welcome to. I don't tend to on my quilling comb, though the friction of the paper tends to hold it, so you don't have to glue every step. And then holding it on the bottom where the loop was with one hand, I'm gently pointing everything and then kind of gently curving it over one of my fingers to the side. You can also do it this way over your thumb. You just want it not to be too smushed, whoopsie, but a nice little peak right on the end. We're going to be making 2 of those in the exact same size, in the exact same way. So the good thing about that Craft Harbor paper is the other half of the strip that I torn off makes almost exactly the right size for the other part. So here I'm doing the same exact thing. I'm going to go up 8 teeth, trying to make sure everything's as straight as possible. And once we get to the 8 teeth, I'm going to tear off the excess just like before, and then shape it in the same way. And here I am shaping the second piece on my leaf. There's the first one I did. And this is why you want to make sure that whatever size quilling comb you have, you remember the amount of teeth you're using and stick to that number for this project, because you want these 2 pieces to line up together. They should have one side that's a little bit flatter from bending it over your finger. You're going to apply a little bit of glue right down the center. You really don't need much for this. And press them together, not too hard because you don't want to lose your shape, but you can hold one side and sort of fix the point a bit. That is what we're looking for the beginning here. These azalea leaves have a kind of a roundish end, and then it goes down to a point. It's not like a true heart-shaped leaf, so we're not stopping there. We're going to put a little bit more bulk on both sides. So we need a second strip of the same color. We're going to start off exactly the same way with that anchor again. But this is where it's going to get a little bit different than what we did the first time. Now we're putting our anchor on the second highest rung on our tool there. And then just like before, we're going to start weaving up and over each individual tooth. But instead of going to the bottom, I'm going right under my anchor. And I'm going to do that until I get to the sixth rung, the sixth tooth. Oops. So that is 5. I'm counting the one I didn't use, by the way. So if I start from the bottom, I'm up to 5 now. And then that's number 6. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then I'm going to go back, keep it going, and using the bottom now to wrap around 2 more teeth on the top. So I have my anchor up 1, and I didn't go to the bottom until I got to the last 2 teeth, tore off the extra, add a little bit of glue just like before to the end, and get that all sealed up. And then when you slide it off of your quilling comb, you'll be able to see that because we didn't have the anchor all the way at the end for most of this part, the bulk of the quilling paper isn't all the way at the end. There's our little anchor there, and where I'm pinching now is just the paper left over from those last 2 turns on your comb. That's what you want to see. I'm going to shape it just like before, kind of pointed, a little flat on one side. You're going to make 2 of those the same way. And again, we went up 8 teeth total on our comb, so it's going to be about the same length as the other parts. That's going to be important. Applying a little bit of glue, just like we did before. We're going to put one flat side right on the end. You might have to hold this for a minute, but that's okay. It'll get there. Now, because we didn't have the anchor on the end for these 2 side pieces like we did for the first 2, it's going to make the leaf wider and give it the right shape without making the top completely round, without having to squeeze the life out of it to get the shape we want. Because we put a little bit less bulk on those last 2 pieces, it's going to give us the right shape for this leaf, for the azaleas. I'm getting this all pinched up here, and I'm going to show a few finished ones. I have here a couple different shades of sort of that same mossy sage green. And if you want to, you can make these a little bit more narrow by pinching them a little bit, or like this lighter shade here, they're a little bit more broad. It's up to you. It just depends on how much you squeeze it as you're putting all the pieces together, those side pieces especially. Then it's just a matter of tucking some of these leaves underneath your azaleas. Remember, these grow on bushes, so there is quite a few leaves going with these flowers. And that is about it. I do want to mention you can make many different kinds of leaves on your quilling comb. I have a number of them here. I've made a couple of videos about these leaves in the past. So I'll link to those in addition to the azalea video in a description box for this video. Be sure to leave any questions you have in the comment section, and I always try to answer those as soon as I can. Of course, I will leave links, as always, to all of the supplies and tools I used in the description box also, in addition to my link to my Buy Me a Coffee page, where you can find some extras, including an extra video that you can check out. Any support there is always greatly appreciated, helps the channel keep going. But also, don't forget to like and subscribe so you can be around for my next video. And I'll see you then. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.